2D and all the other, and then every other time you see it again, to see it that on the big screen, you get to see a 3D experience. People put a lot of work into it like that. You know, they actually did the work, and it's not ambulance chaser types that just did a quick dimensionalization to get it out there quick. You know, see those that they actually embraced the technology and wanted to do something with it.
There is a big difference between films that are made in 3D from minute one and films that are just big budget spectacles where they slap the 3D on in post-production. So look into that before you choose, obviously. Ruben, Matt, anything about 3D?
It sounds like I'm in the minority, but I love 3D. And for me, when I go see it, like for me, Avatar just changed the way you see a movie, and like my jaw was on the floor the whole time. So I really just think it enhances the experience, and I don't find it gimmicky unless you make it gimmicky. Like it can be, you're seeing into the world with a greater dimension, and when there's shotguns in your face or arrows flying at your head, that's one type of 3D, but just a completely experiential way of viewing the movie to me just makes it cooler. And when I look at Zombieland, I think about some of the cool shots that I'm proud of in the movie. I think about how much cooler they would have been if they'd been in 3D. For example, the woman flying through the windshield, I mean, that's like the best example, but I can only imagine how cool that would look in 3D, or some of the splatter or gore or whatever, you know, without...
Or Emma Stone in 3D.
Yeah, but without being gratuitous, I mean, I think it's just a cool way to make it more entertaining, and I think Zombieland, what it's best at is just being pure entertainment, and I feel like 3D has that component of just having, like, in a way of, you know, like a ride at an amusement park or something like that. It's just a form of entertainment, and to me it enhances the entertainment value, especially with the movie with the tone of Zombieland. But I've been going to all these 3D kind of like, you know, the guys who did Avatar, they have something, and now Sony has something, and when I watch their demos and things like that, I get so fired up that I think it looks amazing. So I'm excited to make Zombieland 2 in 3D, and I think it'll really hopefully enhance it, and we're writing it with 3D in mind. And I took the writers to the 3D workshop, and like we're really going to try and make it something that's intentional, as opposed to, as you described, some of the movies where it's just like another component to market or a way to make more money at the box office. For us, we really want to make it something that just elevates the entertainment value of the film.
Kind of have something to add. I've just been fortunate enough to know Jim Cameron since I first came to Hollywood, and when I went and showed him my print of Desperado, I took it to Lightstorm, and while he was watching that, he said, "Hey, you go sit in the lobby and you can read a couple of my treatments." I was like, "Really? Oh, cool." So one was Spider-Man and one was Avatar, and he's been working on it forever, and I've seen all the different versions of it as it went, and when it came time to do the 3D, I had just done, you know, my Spy Kids movie where you don't have the glasses on the whole time. It tells you when to put the glasses on when you get inside the video game, because then you get immersed in the world, and it was just a great thrill to see people all at once putting glasses on when it says glasses on, glasses off, glasses on. And asked him how he was going to do his movie, because it wasn't really needed 3D for the first part, and he said, "Oh, I'm going to have a very limited 3D the beginning, and then once you're in the world, it's going to expand." And I didn't see the movie right away. It took me about a week to see it, but I kept hearing from people saying, "Yeah, for the first 20 minutes, it was kind of odd. I didn't really get it." And then somewhere around 20 minutes into it, somehow you just love the characters and you're in the world. And I thought, I wonder if that's the point where it does the spatial. I'm going to go time it and see if that's where the second act kicks in, and that's where he did that. So I'm watching the movie, and you watch it, and I'm always pulling my glasses on and off to see what the intraocular distance is and to see where it's sitting. And it's a very limited 3D for the first 20 minutes, but then once he becomes the Avatar, it goes poof, and the whole world splits like that. And that's why you as an audience feel sucked into it, and that's the brilliance of Jim Cameron, really, you know, figuring out how to get you into that world and make you feel like you're now glued to the screen by using the technology, thinking about it, and really figuring it out.
Very good. Matt, anything on 3D?
No, I mean, I think for me, it comes down to the kind of movie that it is too. I mean, exactly what Robert was saying. The thing about 3D, when it's done really well, it makes the experience even more immersive. And for a certain kind of movie, it's something that has sort of spectacle and a kind of something that brings you into that kind of world. To be able to feel it all around you, I think is, especially now that it's gotten, I mean, I have to say, the 3D in Avatar is amazing, and you do truly feel immersed. And maybe I wouldn't want to see that if I were seeing, you know, the new whatever drama that was, you know, there's something about, my fear, I think, with 3D is, will it be distracting? Will it be the kind of thing, I mean, there's the kind of thing you're talking about where it's fun to play with the audience, and that's kind of the point of the experience, so you want them to throw something at your face. That's the joy of it, that's the communal experience. But if it's something that's meant to be sort of more understated, will it be distracting? And it's going to be interesting now to see how, as it's embraced more and more, how that affects the content of movies too. Because for Avatar, it's exactly the right kind of thing for that movie, because it's meant to be immersive. And for the films that you guys are talking about, it'll be interesting to see how it affects other genres. What does it mean in a drama to be able to reach out and touch someone's nose? It's a huge nose. Like, I don't know. But I think it really depends on the film and the content, and it can be kind of amazing, I think.
Very good. I kind of fell off the whole individual questions based on topics, and I certainly do not want to leave all you fine people out. So I think what we're going to do is open the floor to general questions, but my one request would be try to keep them, you know, the kind of questions that any of these gentlemen could answer, and not just to a specific filmmaker, if that would be cool. Right here.
Hi. A couple of weeks ago, Nimrod, the director of Predators, was at UT, and I heard him talk, and he was talking a little bit about making the film. This isn't specifically for Robert, but and he was talking about kind of you being there, and there'd be times when you make a suggestion that was really good. And I was just wondering if it seems like when I think of horror movies, there's kind of like it seems like there's a lot more of a mentorship to it. Do you feel like horror movies just has this room for directors to help other directors in it because it's a little bit freer? There's not so serious sometimes. It seems like there's a real big community aspect to it.
It's a good question. You find that there's more like of a support system or a mentoring system in the horror industry?
I didn't grow up being a big horror fan. I mean, I was way more of a comedy fan, and so when I was approaching this movie, I studied up as much as I could. But the movie that I thought it held the greatest sort of thematic relationship with was American Werewolf in London. And so I asked if I could take John Landis out for lunch, and I went.
I ask that every week. They never get to call me back.
So he indulged me, and I took him to Nate Now's, and we had like a 3-hour conversation. I just really, love all his movies. Like, I think he's actually my favorite filmmaker. And so to get to talk to him and have him impart, I was like, anything? Come on, I'm about to make my first movie. Like, help me out.
He's notorious for being really supportive of young filmmakers.
He was super thorough, and was also like just so generous about just talking in general terms about the balance between horror comedy, which is a hard one to walk, and a lot of people misstep, I think, trying to make it. So I felt very lucky to get him to just sit down with some guy I never heard of before and help me out. So I had a great experience with the mentor in that.
Anybody? Chance on that one?
Yeah, just to say that some of the nicest people I've ever met are horror directors. That there does seem to be a really cool community out there that we all kind of chat to each other and hang out together and stuff like that, and exchange ideas and support each other, and sometimes like screen our films in early cuts and things like that, and get responses from each other. And like you say, somebody like Landis, or I've been lucky enough to have a chat with Carpenter as well, and people like Mick Garris are just really keen to support up and coming filmmakers like ourselves. I also think a lot of time, not all the time, but a lot of times people that make horror movies start in a very low budget world or even a no budget world, which is what I did. And so a lot of people around me who also did that, that's very supportive, because we've all come from nothing, and we've all struggled, and we've all had the similar fights, and that support group, because making a film is really traumatic in my experience. And so to have people around that are nice people, like Neil's saying, and people that are they want to see your movie and they want you to get your movie made. That's so few and far between, that the people that are like that, which in my opinion is a lot of horror people. Maybe it's because the movies are edgier or something, I don't know. But they, it's like I said, it's very traumatic. So to find like-minded people that are that want to help, and they don't want to put their agenda on you, they actually want you to succeed, is just in life very rare. So if you can find it, I think it's pretty great.
Anything on that, as far as mentoring goes?
There's just, it's a very generous crowd, these guys. There's, I think, because I'm part of this odd group, I'm gonna induct you guys so you can come to her dinners that happen every once in a while. There's this group, and it's John Landis and Toby Hooper and Mick Garris and Stephen King sometimes, Frank Darabont. They get all these guys together, and it's called, and Guillermo del Toro.